What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So this is the only studio album review of like the American alternative rock band New Radicals based on this product. It's called Maybe You've Been Brainwashed Too, and it came out in the fall of 1998. So this is a severe set. This particular album is a severe setback within the tone of this being the only one within the true full-bound sense of the band type era within pitches like that. Unfortunately, they got kind of jet-lagged and caught up within the product of just the after effects of like the publicity and pitches like that, and they never put out any further albums. Basically, just in the promotional run of this particular album a few months later within pitches like that. So really, even within it, this album lasted a very minor and short-lived sense within these pitches, pretty much only about 5, 6, 7 months within the product of it coming out within the appeal, like the initial kind of glam factor. So it really only got to the product of really pumping out like 2 singles. There's probably, I would have to admit, if they would have lasted longer, there probably could have been at least 3 or 4 of these, something like that. I think it probably would have had at least like the relative type popularity when you think of bands from around this time. I think they probably could have gotten to like Offspring type territory the way that they were cresting with like their Americana album around this time, and like Limp Bizkit, some of those type folks, then pitches like that. This particular Ferris Tonic, definitely some of those type pitches. For the most part, they're kind of known as one-hit wonder for the hit song "You Get What You Get." But I definitely think there were some degree of other type hits off this album, but the promotion just got slagged immediately. They basically pulled the plug on like the affair of wanting to do music any further for the most part, minus writing. After just as like the second single was in the production. Just as like the second single is getting ready to come out as far as this first album. Now the second single still at least did come out, but it was not promoted very well whatsoever. So it was kind of pitched. It was kind of like a sabotage type one with the pitch, but still the product. Simple enough to say classic album pitches like that. I look after here, recommend all 12 songs of this album, 10 out of 10 pitches like that. It's a very slump type album with the pitch, just paying attention to like the product. This has the after effect, like particularly the hit song, which was a part of movie soundtracks, pitches like that. It's one of those type ones, the thing of the song, which within the fair, if you don't know who I'm talking about here, the particular hit song, You Get What You Give by New Radicals, one of those type ones. Just that particular part, when you think of like movies from like the late 90s, early 2000s, one of those type ones that just is real good, deuces up, kind of empowerment type song, gets you through within those pitches. Where you work up the nerve to say, fuck it, I'm going to get a new job, some of these type pitches, fuck the blase, some of these type aspects. It's just kind of tone as far as just these particular kind of empowered type aspects within tone. It's just one of those type ones that seem like within a series of movies, maybe not so much American Pie within those products, but I'm trying to think of like particular hit movies that probably would have been a part of within those fairs within the pitch behind it. Definitely one of those Freddie Prinze Jr. kind of rom-com type movies, like She's All That, some of those pitches where the breakup kind of happens and you're like, screw it, I'm gonna keep pushing, despite the fact that the chica is seemingly kind of over it, pitches like that as far as those are just kind of like, fuck that, not going to go out like that, want my baby back as far as this first album. So within the pitch, as far as I'm paying attention to the product of it here, but just the aspect of getting towards the product. So yeah, like I was saying, slump type album within the pitch as far as these performances going to happen, just miss the aspect of like a very upside down and just kind of the tumult of just being able to say that it very much is like a pull along that just feels like the after effect. This is probably one of the more haunting, just overall type alternative rock type albums. So I think of this is this overall nastier type album with the pitch. It's really the aspect of just barely it seems barely having like the after effect of just wanting like the complex of to have to deal with makeshift within these pitches. Kind of feels like the after effect. It doesn't really languish in like the factoid of just like drinking your problems away, pitches like that, some stuff where it does, but just kind of miss the pitch of just like very despondent and just kind of within pitch. It just has the after effect of just probably having seen it. Like some of these type fairs, it feels like the product of some of these type moments just have the after effect of just seeing like a series of movies, just kind of the after effect of just typical thumbs down type vibes with most of the product of how the get alongs kind of happen. Just kind of after effect of just complete opposite of the way this album cover kind of depicts with like the sunshine about it as far as this first album, which dope type product, real banner, real standout type appeal. This glam factor, just the overall appeal of this product is pretty large within these pitches. It just deals with the product just not having like the after effect of really much shape along for like the after effect of makeshift kind of consistency within those products for this first album. It's just good within pitch. It balances it pretty well within the after effects. I do think had the promotion not been pulled for this product so early, I think there probably would have been some extra type tunes on here that could have had like some, just to see the damage that this particular product could have done within these pitches. Now it's kind of within the fair, just the after effect. I'll probably try to point out some of these type ones I think probably could have been the third and fourth single pitch like that, but it's just kind of an ordeal as far as saying it particularly carries it. I don't think there was a song within the snap as large. I think You Get What You Give would have probably remained the largest song off this album, but it is a pitch as far as saying that it does have some products just carrying that particular theme of just like the swamp type aspect. It's very kind of rainy but the sun is out type vibes, pitch like that. Just some of those type ones that you just listen to where So like a decent movie or just kind of a tugging type movie, something like that, and just getting towards the product or just like, all right, time to get back towards it as far as this press comes. So it's just within pitch as far as saying just paying attention to mishap kind of makeshift commonplace within this ordeal. So nails it. Yeah, just being able to say there were 2 singles off this project as far as these first albums. So the lead single was You Get What You Get, which is nice type of ordeal. It's like a very nice, real talk and gripping kind of makeshift ballad release to get within these products here. Good, nice one to grab like burritos, something stuff aspect and just get some burritos from Taco Bell, something stuff pitches from the aspect of like something to kind of keep the after effect of it stationary as far as these pitch kind of within the aspect of like the goings on. So it's this kind of pitch. I mean, the grip about this song within the particular appeal, it's a very notable type one. Seeing this on particular playlist pitches like that as far as talking about like some notable kind of one-hit wonders out of the 90s pitches like that. Now really, to say whether or not one-hit wonder, it's kind of subjective within those aspects just because they kind of sabotage themselves within these fields. They may not sabotage themselves, but they just kind of were like screw up pitches like that. But it's just kind of ordeal as far as saying, I do think they probably would have had other hits. I think they probably had the ability to do it. They probably could have been like a decent kind of moody and kind of more slump kind of pop rock emo type aspect. And they're not so much emo, but just kind of missed the pitch of this upside down type fare. It's one of those type ones out of typical 80s type fare, just pitched like that did typical kind of 80s gripping type songs and pitches like that, just in the late 90s kind of new era type stuff within pitches, like how things were going to go with alt rock and pitches like that. So nails the appeal, but losing track what I'm trying to say here. But yeah, it's just the after effect of just saying the theme of this particular song and a good portion of like this album is just the aspect of just like empowerment, just the grit and the aspect of just like just some grit and muscle as far as these first albums. Just kind of within the pitch of just like the after effect, it just had that particular energy, just harnesses like a good particular type vibe that just has like that certain kind of spark within the pitch of just one of those type of songs to listen to after like a rainy kind of yucky day, something like that, or just work pissing you off, something stuff ordeals, some sort of aspect diva fair pissing you out, something within those products as far as those pitch can happen within the after effect and just kind of a bounce back and a rebound type fair that just resupplies like the sparkage within those fair. But definitely to throw in, I would say have the burritos in there, pitch like that, just get some good Taco Bell type grub pitch like that, some type products. But it's just kind of pitch. I definitely think they could have made more hits like this song. Was just the aspect one. This is their only charting song within after all this appeal. Even all these years later, they have not done virtually anything within these products. This is the fair, but Someday We'll Know is the second single. Someday We'll Know is the second single off this project. This is nice type of appeals. Did not chart, but I think the after effect had the promotion fair about this album not gotten jet lagged and slagged over as far as these pitch album. I would have definitely said within the excellence. This probably could have been a decent type one for like some rock charts and alt metal and alt rock kind of chart fair within pitch like that. I'd say just within good product. This like a nice syrupy kind of Yellow Skies kind of alt rock style reflect to kind of get here within these aspects. Just some Rec Room kind of swisher sweets. I'd say within the after effect here, just kind of some simple kind of gab. Basic kind of sweet nothing type talk from the pitch to kind of keep things stationed and stable as far as these pitch can happen. As far as these pitch kind of happens, so it's within the after effect as far as saying just the product. Some of these type fares within the pitch just deal with the after effect, or just like the slump type factor, just like mess is kind of made within these after effects. It's kind of within the aspect of not quite as frolicky as Blink 182, not quite as full bound like not quite as Josh around like Limp Bizkit within some stuff fares, but it's kind of the pitch of that same sort of product of this. Kind of within the relative same variety as like Sugar Ray pitches like that, but just not quite as centered within some type pitches. Just more kind of within like a soggy type aspect. So it's just kind of pitches some of those type ones that kind of had the similar type fashion in some of these type times. It's kind of pitch of like particular frat type noise within pitches like that, but it's just kind of aspect as far as saying just kind of more residential bound, not quite as like this is not terribly to a certain extent kind of like most of this is kind of kept up in like the swamp and the dredge type aspects. So it's kind of fair looking for like a song kind of within the aspect as far as something to do that would kind of be like a good sunshine type song. There is a song in here that at least has some degree of like that, like particularly Technicolor Lover pitches like that, and there's another one kind of within the aspect of Mother We Just Can't Get Enough, some pitches like that within those tones. But for the most part, there's not really a club type song on here. Some of these type pitches, it's pretty within the aspect of just like this doldrums within the aspect of this real funk type aspects. But it's kind of the pitch of this is at least one that has a little bit more kind of connect type energy, a little bit more stabilized type energy. It's still relatively like a dredge type aspect. It's real, not so much opiate full bound light, but just kind of pitch of just like real kind of listless within the appeal as far as the aspect kind of happen. Just Tibble type, not late 90s kind of alt type dredge pitch like that, but it's kind of within the fair, a little bit more commercial. This one probably could have done some decent damage in the pitch. I think it had enough hook type appeal where I think they probably could have cranked out another hook within the variety of some of the hits that they kind of have. It was this kind of pitch. It was just the timing and just the mishap that went along with it that sabotaged it. But yeah, it's just a good, nice one. It's a good 1-2 punch with this album. These have the same type of varieties. This hook is not terribly worse than You Get What You Give. It's not to say it's worse whatsoever, but it's this kind of pitch that this is very underappreciated within the aspect. It's too bad that folks didn't try to fuck with this particular song, get it more airplay, because just the pitch as far as saying good combination for just like the Ferris Smoke of You and Like a Rec Room, some pitches like that, some stuff Ferris is kind of after effect of this, rekindling Ferris like that, some stuff aspects of this. Bass kind of Porsche type noise, also just some summer kind of rainy day type aspects within those tones. Yeah, look after it here, so recommend all 12 songs of this album. It's a 10 out of 10. Some of these type ones within these pitches, Mother We Just Can't Get Enough is nice on here. It's like a chipper and drying off from like a rainy kind of blase type song pitches like that. I'd say just a decent luck bit as far as these pitches can go. So just within the pitch, most of the swamp type factor. The fair about some of these, there's really no defining kind of sugary type song within pitch, just like an exuberant kind of energy pitch like that, but it kind of has the fair as far as saying it's just the after effect of this, like most of this album kind of deals with the after effect of rainy type days and the sunlight coming out after within the pitch, whether or not that's a good or a bad thing. It's just kind of the pitch of like, it's kind of after effect of this. Some of these are rainier than the others, but it's kind of the pitch as far as saying within the product. This is at least one that kind of has the after effect to kind of like, screw it, I'm not going to be in a horrid type. It's kind of more after effect of just saying fuck some of these type of things within a recent type sense, going to get back on track within some degrees within those processes. It's kind of a decent kind of luck is kind of turning its other cheek as far as this pair is going to go. Jehovah Made This Whole Joint For You is nice on here within these aspects, like a sunlit kind of evening leftover trudge get within these aspects, just later kind of sip downs within these pairs. This one's a little bit more commerce bound pitch like that. This might have been able to have been a single within these pitch. I think it's a little bit more kind of, this feels like one of those dredgy type ones in a rainy type sense, ripped out of like the 80s type fair, something Ozzy would have done just in a more kind of just in a more power ballad type sense, pitches like that as far as those ordeals going to happen, but just kind of a sit down within some type of appeals. It's a little bit more sluggish within the aspect. I mean, it's kind of within the variety of like Tonic in particular, like Third Eye Blind, some of those type pitches, but just kind of have to, I mean, I do feel like this album has enough commercial snap where I think it probably could have been more damaging than like Tonic did, and within certain senses probably would have been within the same variety as Third Eye Blind pitches like that. Probably would have gotten 3-4 tons platinum, something within those varieties, but it's this kind of pitch. This is a good sluggish type one within the fair, just like a little bit of dredge, just that typical kind of alt rock type aspects, just kind of the tone. But yeah, just kind of one to kind of wind down for the day and like more stable. This is a surprisingly more stable type one pitches like that. In Need of a Miracle is nice on here as well as like a lazy kind of Sunny Skies. In Need of a Miracle is a nice one within these pitches as well as like a lazy kind of Sunny Skies Peering and Lambent kind of toke few as far as these aspects going to happen. Grab like a McDouble from McDonald's pitches like that, just get some stamps within these aspects. So there's kind of fair miss to commonplace some of these type aspects within the tone. It's kind of the after effect of good combination kind of in between like Someday We'll Know and Jehovah Made This Whole Joint For You as far as these pitches can happen. Just miss the aspect probably past 3 o'clock p.m., 4 o'clock p.m. pitches like that within these pairs about it. Get some smokage in your system, some of these products, just get a couple McDoubles, some pitches like that, just kind of keep things within the spice of it as far as these pairs going to go. This is actually another one that's not quite as full bound. I mean, there are some ones on here within pitches, like Crying Like a Church on Monday is one of these tugging type ones. Gotta Stay High is one of these tugging type ones. Particularly, maybe You've Been Brainwashed too. The title track has that sort of appeal. I Don't Want to Die Anymore. So there are some ones that do have like a swamp effect, but there are some ones within pitch that have a little bit of sunlight within pitch, of just like leftover kind of empty kind of dredge pitches like that. Flowers is another quality one that goes with like some of these initial type ones I've talked about here. Combos, Flowers combos with like Technicolor Lover and Jehovah Made This Whole Joint For You, songs like that. It's like a peaceful jaunt, like a gas station, I'd say. Grab like some corn nuts, just good simp type fare. So it's kind of what they're probably having a little bit of factor. The unfortunate thing about this album is there's not really a lot of real content and commonplace to really judge within these products as far as being able to talk about much. This really is truly like the only real shit that they did within these ordeals. So you can't really list other type songs to see if they had any different kind of candors and pitch like that to see what's up with some of these type fares. So this is really the only real true fair about the aspect of what particularly went along with it. But this is not full bound hippie like within these pitches, but it just kind of has the after effect of product that was probably within like the Woodstock type variety. It's kind of in between like fairs like this is a little bit more of like a naturist type album within pitch like that. Just a little bit more worldly and just kind of appreciative within the after effect of like the environment and pitch like that. Not to say full bound environment, but it's just kind of pitch as far as saying just a little bit. It's not to say it's like a full bound sensitive type album, but it just kind of has more kind of just after effect of this kind of like intake in terms like a personal kind of intake type census within the community. I mean, to say for folks thinking, oh, this is just some sort of namby-pamby type album, it's not namby-pamby because it pulls out the appeal of being able to do it, but it's just kind of pitch as far as saying it just has more kind of bruised type affluence, more so than like most standard kind of alt-rock type stuff kind of did around this time. It's not, I wouldn't say to the full-bound degree it's sensitive, but it's just, I do like the upside-down type factor about this album. Pitches like that. Crying Like a Church on Monday's real nice one off this album as well. It's like a similar kind of bar hop malaise kind of noise to like Only God Knows Why by Kid Rock. I'd say a good type of feel. It's just good nice one to grab like a cold beer too. This is very similar to that, like almost wholesomely pretty damn close to similarities to that particular Kid Rock song, just without the particular auto-tune on there as far as this first album. But I do like the after effect of some of these bar hop type ones from the pitches. Another one on here that kind of has that, like maybe you've been brainwashed too. The title track kind of has that sort of appeal. This might have been a pretty nice choice for like a third single. Not the full-bound kind of hijack Kid Rock within those appeals, but it's just the after effect of saying it probably could have had some degree of facet about it. Gotta Stay High is real excellent type one. This is a real standout on here pitch like that. I think this probably, in terms of like a tugging type sense, if they would have wanted to really go with like a tear-jerker pitches like that, I think this probably could have been within like the variety of like You Get What You Give. It's just kind of after effect saying it's just probably one of the sadder songs off this album in terms of pitches like that. It's like a forlorn and dredge along kind of makeshift slime to get. It's kind of like an antonym to You Get What You Give pitches like that. It's kind of this is a hot type one. So just to miss the pitch, this one as this particular one has a little bit more stewing about it within these pitches as far as like the fair. Not quite as like trying to get back up on your feet pitch like that. It's this a little bit more languish within the after effects. It's kind of the intake of like the past while as far as this pitch going to happen. Just good after effects like those tones pitches like that. Dude, definitely like the feel. Definite standout off this album, I'd have to say. Maybe You've Been Brainwashed too is a quality one off the sound good pitches. Definitely a hit title track. It's like a good karaoke and bar noise to get here to some relative relief from like Blase. This is kind of pitch of just after effect of getting some drinks in your system after like the routine kind of nonsense that goes along and just BS bullshit some stuff. First, and then probably like the makeshift type fair just hitting up like a bar, some stuff after effect. Some of these type of after effects, getting some drinks, Crown Royal in your system, some of these type pitches after the after effects, like the nonsense that goes along with this kind of pitch. Within these fairs, the product about it has like some degree of socialized on here, but it's really not as much complex. There's not as much kind of within the after effect of like real super tons of moments for like pal type aspects, pitches like that. It's kind of the fair as far as saying you do get a little bit of drinks in your system, some of those type pitches like the occasional smoke test songs, but I'd probably say one of the most social songs on here would probably be Someday We'll Know, and to a certain type of extent, I'd probably say Crying Like a Church on Monday as far as this fair's going to go. Yeah, but just good type fairs pitches like that. The song I Don't Want to Die Anymore is a nice one within these pitches as well. It's like a good early hours lament and regret to kind of get within these products. Good fairs about it. This like a song for like a shoddy breakfast, some of those type fairs where it's just like kind of a haphazard kind of get up and go, I'd say pitches like that. It's kind of a fuck today type song pitches like that. It's just a more homebound type variation of Gotta Stay High pitches like that. It's just kind of after effect of some of those type fairs, which I would say Gotta Stay High is just kind of missed the aspect of. That one's a little bit more out and around, but I would say particularly I Don't Want to Die Anymore is just kind of homebound type mess of just like the after effect of just kind of trying pulling it together pitches like that within those ordeals. Good type product. I hope I didn't just give away the endings. A good type pitch within these products here. Excellent type one as well. It's like a soggy but centered kind of makeshift slump, I'd say, pitch like that. It's probably one of those type ones that need fudge or some vanilla wafers. Good aspect. Need fudge or like some wafers, vanilla wafers, some of the stuff aspects from the tone. Good pitch like that. So it's just kind of after effect of Tibble type lollygag within the pitch, of just kind of the opposite. It would be lollygag, but kind of in a negative type sense, just after effect to just languish within the fair, just like the slump type factor pitches like that. So it just kind of has the fair about it. So say pitches like that. I think the last one I haven't talked about on here is Technicolor Lover pitches like that. This is a nice one as well. It's like a nice just got done with the movie and post event kind of chillax to have within these products here. Just grab like some Dairy Queen pitches like that with the diva type fair good pitches, kind of a porch bop to kind of have. So just missed the pitch as far as saying it's not. This is a nice one for like the fair, just like a differential type tone. So it's kind of pitch. Some of these type ones can have the after effect of like some soggy type days. It's an after effect of just like a good slump type series of ones that are just kind of after effect of just like leftover kind of the same variety as like alt rock from like the late 90s pitch like that, just with the more kind of like this is the more foggy and slog kind of empty type facet about a pitch like that. But then there are some ones that are kind of the after effect of more homebound and just the after effect of like socialized thrown in within some stuff products that just have the upside down type factor, just like fuck it, just really peeved and just like not feeling it as far as those first albums. It's just gonna pitch as far as saying, but I look after within these products, I think that's verts everyone I've talked about on here pitches like that. Just being able to say 10 out of 10 out. So within the appeal, the social score of this album, now within the fair, I might give the social score like a 9.5 out of 10. It's not to say the quality of this album's not good, but it's just kind of pitch as far as saying there's not really like a It's not really like a humongous ton of like moments for like the after effect to like connect type fair. You have to kind of sift through some of these type ones to figure out the product of whether it's Bay or just homie type product. Some of the whether it's Bay type product and Boo type product or just homie type product, with some of these type of moments that kind of have like the socialized effect is really an after effect to just languish for like the fair, just like the upside down typeness, to just like the usual kind of just grime factor and just fatigue as far as those pairs happen. So just within the pitch, it's not a bad type. When I give it a 9.5 social, it's not main, it's not good, but it's just the casual type sense of the after effect of it's popular. I think for the most, I mean, considering that this is their only product pretty much period within these pairs, just after effect, they're pretty much signified to the one song, which is just you get what you give. But they do have other hits on here. It's just kind of pitch that's just not that much of like a social kind of collective like a product. It's just kind of pitched, considering the fact they don't have any other albums, pitches like that, and they pulled the promotion right as this album was getting started. They didn't really even try to promote this product with anything else. It's kind of fair. It's just pretty much a one-live type product for the most part. One single that charted, one other song only. Besides that had any degree of trying to chart. So it's kind of pitch as far as saying. But I do like the fair of what this album is trying to accomplish within like the after effect of what it was going for, like the social type appeals. You get some of these Porsche type songs, you get some of these kind of rec room kind of smoke type songs. You do get some smokage factor in here. See a few movies, rom coms, or just fairs like that. Since their products, just a couple diva type fits that take to like a rom com movie, and like Dairy Queen, some of these bastards and Tonga pitch like that. A few bar hop type ones that kind of deal with the slump type factor, and just some overall tacky kind of makeshift that just kind of has you in a slump type fashion for just having like some shitty breakfast and just overall languish in the morning pitch like that. As far as those ordeals, kind of have just some rainy type songs within those pitches, but nails appeal. So I'd say 9.5 socials. So looking after it, yeah, in terms of the future, like's been said, the likelihood of particularly New Radicals ever dropping anything else is pretty insignificant. But I look after just being able to say this is a classic within those tones. Nice good staple. It's very unfortunate that they didn't at least get to like the third or fourth single, something like that, to at least pumped out a few more. And I guess I said I was gonna pick out some of the ones I probably would have thought could have been singles. I'd probably say Crying Like a Church on Monday, which harnesses Kid Rock, would have been a nice one. I'd probably say, like in a certain type of sense, Technicolor Lover could have been a nice one for some of these type pitches. That just like a date afternoon that kind of breaks away from like the usual slump of this album. Gotta Stay High, if they're really aiming for like a tearjerker, probably could have done it pretty well. That's a worst type song that has the same sort of funk type aspect, real swamp type one, but probably just was the darker type one for like the fair behind it. Some of those type ones. So on side pitches, I'd probably say it was just from the products first hand. So that's the product about this album. 10 out of 10, good classic type of feel, good blistering type one.